what makes a great video game? Is it the people behind it that have a passion and care and truly want to bring something special into the world? Or is it the corporate bigwigs that say, let's try to make as much money as possible in any way possible to make this game make us rich? Which one is a better game? I think the answer is pretty obvious, unless you're this guy, JB Perrette, who's the CEO and president, Global Streaming and Games for WB, Warner Brothers Discovery, and what he wants to do with Warner Brothers games. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and this is absolutely ludicrous. And nor is it new, by the way. There's this big wave of news coming out because this guy just spoke and GameSpot covered it in a story talking about how Warner Brothers Games wants to focus on making their games live service games to have a constant revenue stream of money. Which is what they said during their investor call back in November of 2023. Hasn't really changed very much. I remember hearing it back then thinking, that's not a good direction to go. And then Suicide Squad comes out, falls flat on its face. And what do? Double down! Smash JT. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com if you're new to the channel. I typically write articles covering the latest and greatest and interesting news stories, typically around video games. And in this case, is no different. Warner Brothers Games wants to make their games live service games as much as they can because they know that's where the real money is. Problem is, it's not something that every company can do, and that's where the challenge comes in. These companies look at game companies like Epic and Fortnite and how they have this constant revenue stream. It's a free-to-play game, and everyone and their mother just can't wait to play Fortnite all the time. They look around and see that kind of money, and they're like, how do we get our hand in that pot? Even when they have a successful franchise, like, we'll say, Harry Potter. That game sold like gangbusters, had roaringly great reviews, and was a single-player experience, not an online live service game with a constant involving economy that requires people to log in every day. No, it's something that you can pick up and play, have a single-player experience, enjoy it, and then move on to the next game. There's no money in that for them after the initial purchase, and they don't want that moving forward because ultimately, with them, it's all about the money. Even if the game is good, it's not good enough if it's not bringing them money over and over and over again. This is where we find ourselves in the game industry today. It's not about making a good game. It's about making a game that, hopefully it's good, but if it's not, we just want it to make money, and constant money, a revenue stream as much as possible. We're doubling down on games as an area where we think there is a lot more growth opportunity that we can tap into with the IP that we have and some of the capabilities we have on the studio where we're uniquely positioned as both a publisher and a developer of games. The Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game sold over 22 million copies. And what do they do with that? Instead of being excited and happy and popping champagne bottles that they have one of the most successful games in recent memory, at least in 2023, do they make a sequel to that? Do they talk about how that was what they should move forward to and that's the direction the industry's going? Nope. They go the complete opposite direction. Rather than just launching a one-and-done console game, how do we develop a game around, for example, a Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter that is a live service where people can live and work and build and play in that world in an ongoing basis? Tell me you have no idea how video games work without telling me you have no idea how video games work. Like, sure, you can build the Animal Crossing experience where you can live in a world and you can add online to it like Nintendo did, but even games like that have a shelf life. Sure, there are exceptions to the rule, like Fortnite, and all these executives always seem to point to Fortnite as the golden goose that will always lay the golden egg, and that's what they need under their umbrella so that they can have a constant revenue stream, just like Epic Games does. And everyone wants that, and it's great to want that. But tangibly, realistically, Is it possible for every game company to have their own Fortnite? No! Is it possible for every game company to have a $22+ million selling game? Yes! You can sell games as long as they're really, really good and people want to play them. Like, that's how the game industry works. But when it gets taken over by corporate bigwigs like this guy who has no idea, no basis of reality, no understanding of the consumer, and you put him in charge of Warner Brothers Discovery. This guy is in charge of getting rid of HBO Max and just calling it Max, which is one of the dumbest ideas, getting rid of the HBO branding, which is a whole nother story for another day. But it does give us some insight as to this guy's mentality and what he thinks. And just because you're in charge and just because you're making decisions doesn't mean they're good. That's ultimately what I'm getting at with this. And the irony in all of this is Warner Brothers, of all the companies out there, literally have Exhibit A of what you can do to be successful with a single player experience like Hogwarts Legacy. And what do? They look over at Suicide Squad and say, yeah, that game fell flat on its face. We tried way too hard to be like Fortnite. We need to try harder. Because clearly we didn't try hard enough with Suicide Squad. That's what the problem is. Not let's focus on what's working for us. Let's focus on what's not working for us. Let what was successful fall by the wayside and try our best. Throw everything into the fire of online live service games and hope we have a residual income forever. That's what he's getting at here. And credit to GameSpot for covering this conference that he spoke at, even though, like I said, this is just reiterating what they said during their last conference call in November 2023. This is really nothing new, but it does kind of scare me that even after they have a failure of a game, instead of realizing what gamers want, they're going the complete opposite direction because they want the money. Perret went on to say how he has no idea how the gaming landscape is going to evolve over time, but he believes owning the IP and studios could help Warner Brothers Discovery succeed where others may not. He also called out things like virtual reality and virtual worlds as places that will increase in scale and adoption in the future. And okay, maybe, but at the same time, he literally just said he has no idea what the future holds for gaming, but he thinks this is the direction that gaming is going. Even though sales tell you the complete opposite story. I gotta be real. Like, I don't know how some people get in the positions that they get into. CEO and president, global streaming and games. See, I'd say his title gives him a vested interest in wanting the games to be streaming, wanting the residual income in the online live service games, because it's literally in his title, so he has to make it work even when it's not working. But I gotta be honest with you guys, he sounds like an absolute idiot. Like, he's saying the complete opposite of what's worked and doubling down on what hasn't worked. He wanted to focus more on live service and free-to-play games. Those are the exact same reason that people were upset at the development direction of Suicide Squad. While in the same breath he's talking about how Hogwarts Legacy was great, he also says, yes, Suicide Squad kind of fell flat on its face. We need to work really hard to make sure that doesn't happen again and double down all our efforts on a live service game. Like, talk about putting all your eggs in the complete wrong basket. Could it work out for them? Maybe. Like, I don't want to sound like, oh, this is completely stupid, it's the dumbest thing ever. It's just like, when all the signs are pointing to, hey, this is what gamers actually want, like, we're telling you, make more games like Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy, keep doing stuff like that, don't focus on Suicide Squad and those live service games, it sucked, like, do something we actually want to play. He's basically telling you that you don't know what you like and that they will provide to you what you need because you don't know what you need. You don't know what you want. We will tell you what you want, what you're going to play, and why you're going to enjoy it more than the game that is actually good. Because the live service, the online game, the game that keeps you coming back for more all the time, that's the game that makes them money. And this goes back to the very beginning of the episode when I said to you guys, gaming has lost its way. Like, this is what's transpired in the game industry, where we literally have a perfect example of a game on its own that sold 22 plus million copies in Hogwarts Legacy, and that proves to Warner Brothers that's what people want, and they still say that that's not what people want. Like, they can't make it any more clear to you that they care only about the money. They don't care about the games industry. They don't care about the games experience. They don't care about what you've purchased and what you've enjoyed. They just want to make money. And ultimately, in the entertainment space, while it's important for people to have food on their tables and developers to have jobs, more importantly, I would argue, is to have a good game that people will speak with their wallet to purchase and continue supporting those developers that work hard making good games. But maybe that's breaking it down a little too much. If you want more information, like I said, I made an article on smashjt.com going over all this information. I will link it in the description below. Let me know what you guys think about Warner Brothers going the complete opposite direction of what the consumers are telling them and doubling down on live service games. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
And the reaggregation is both structural, obviously companies like ours in terms of Warner Brothers and Warner Media and Discovery coming together, so there's some structural components of consolidation.